white one will like.
Introduce Garry, and I don't know if Emmy is around. She's disappeared.
Maybe she's tired of listening to me talk. I don't know.
Right. Mr. Garry South, who is a well-known PR guy and has worked with a number of governors of California over the years and writes op-eds and pieces for The Guardian in Britain and various other important journals. Is also a designer of vestments and has designed some of these most spectacular vestments, and he's going to introduce them and show us them this morning. Thank you, Garry. Thank you.
Vestments 101. I've been doing this for 40 years, literally, as of this year. I designed my first set of vestments in 1985. And even my close front page. Oh, we can't? Huh? Yeah. This is oh, maybe not. Okay.
Is the green light on?
There it is.
Yes, now
Yeah.
it's on.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
There, okay. So I've been doing this as a hobby for 40 years. Even my close friends think it's rather esoteric, if not downright bizarre, that I design vestments. Just a word about how I got into this racket. I grew up and was raised in evangelical churches, two different ones, where there were no vestments at all. My second year in college, I started attending an Episcopal church, and I wondered about the robes and the vestments. I didn't know anything about them. I didn't know what they meant. I didn't know their history. And so I then shortly moved to Washington, D.C., and I had the luxury of living just 2 blocks from Georgetown University. And so this was before the internet. So I would go to the Georgetown Library and check out books on vestments, the history of them, the styles, the whole thing. And I started really immersing myself in vestments and vestment design. And I had always been an artist as a little kid. I won all the poster contests, all the blue ribbons at the fair. And in 1985, I kind of arrogantly said, hey, I can do this. I can design a vestment. And so I did. And I've been doing it ever since. I do have a website, holy-threads.com, if you want to, after this session, if you want to look at all the vestments I've designed through the years. They're all there, including some of these. What I thought I'd do today, this is not all the vestments I've designed for St. Thomas, but I kind of wanted to pull out a representative sample so I can talk to you about the styles and the names and the purposes of these different vestments. And please, if you have any questions, just raise your hand or throw something at me, because I don't want this to be a lecture. I want it to be somewhat interactive. This green set is one of the latest ones I've designed. This was actually made in Italy to my design. And this is what we call the chasuble. This is the piece, this is the main vestment worn by the celebrant at Mass. It can only be worn by the celebrant at Mass. And this style is called the Roman style. It's colloquially called a fiddleback because if you look at the front, it kind of looks like the back of a stringed instrument, right? So when I say fiddleback, it doesn't refer to the back, it refers to the front. So this is called the Roman style. At a high Mass, the deacon wears what we call a dalmatic, which is this piece right here, and the subdeacon wears what we call a tunicle. Now, if you might notice, the dalmatic usually has an extra element of design. By the way, these bands on vestments are called orphreys. O-R-P-H-R-E-Y, not to be concerned with ospreys. And if you notice, the dalmatic has an extra orphrey here that the tunicle does not have. That's not always the case, but it is usually the case that the dalmatic that the deacon wears is a little bit more heavily apparelled than what the deacon wears. Oh, you can come up here.
Thrilled.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled, and thank you so much. I think from all of us, we are so grateful to you. Really, this is just, it reminds me of my childhood.
Oh.
It makes me feel, every time I come to church, I go, oh, we got a new one from
It
Garry."
doesn't remind me of my childhood because it was in an evangelical church.
Well,
But
thank you from
sure,
the bottom of my heart.
sure.
I have another
all right,
bit of a-
thank you.
Thank you.
This is a stole. This is worn by only ordained clergy. This really is a symbol, and Father knows more about vestments in his little finger than I have in my head, but this is basically a symbol of the authority and the ministry of ordained clergy. This is only worn by bishops and priests and ordained deacons. This is a maniple, which is worn over the left wrist. The origin of this is a little bit murky because there are some that think that the origin of this was basically a piece of cloth that priests used to wear before air conditioning and even electric fans to wipe their face. There are others who think this is symbolic of Christ wiping the disciples' feet at the Last Supper and apparently had a towel or something over his arm. But nonetheless, it is basically kind of a disused vestment now in the Catholic Church. This was used during the Latin Mass, but is not used at all in the Novus Ordo Masses that they have, but we use them here. So this is called a maniple. Now, this style of vestment is what's called a Gothic style, and you can see it's more free-flowing than the Roman style. This is the most common form of vestment that you will see today, particularly in the Roman Church. They don't, even though this is called a Roman chasuble, they don't really use it anymore in the Roman Church except in the traditional Mass. So this is a more free-flowing kind of vestment. This is basically a Christ the King set that I designed. Now, you might think that because this looks more modern, that this was a follow-on to the Roman chasuble, but you would be wrong. During the medieval times, only the Gothic chasuble was used, and it was a much longer robe. And it was so long that it inhibited the celebrant's arms when he was celebrating communion. And so this actually didn't originate until the 16th and 17th century, and as you can see, it has no arms. So the celebrant's arms can be used, they can flail if they want. And so this is actually a later version form of the chasuble than this. And in fact, technically, this is called a semi-Gothic form. It's called semi-Gothic because the modern version is shorter and a lot less long than the old Gothic. Yeah.
The Roman ones are so much cooler to wear.
Oh, I bet.
Because it's open.
Yeah.
Design.
And they probably flap when you use them, right?
Right.
Yeah.
As a Lutheran as a kid, that was what I was used to seeing.
Yeah.
Not,
Yeah. The Roman is not usually used in the Lutheran Church, even when they fully vest.
I see.
Yeah.
I never saw
Yeah. Now, the purple set that I designed has both a Roman chasuble with the cross and the corpus on the back. This is used during what? Lent. This is the Gothics. Oh, yeah.
The one you just showed of, Jesus Christ on the cross, so is that all hand embroidered?
Yes. Yeah. Now, some of these are machine embroidered because they now have machines that can do that. But most of them are hand embroidered, yeah.
Let me ask a question.
Yeah.
So you're doing this design, I guess it's because I live with an architect, right? So how are you counting on the expertise of the people assembling?
Yeah.
Do they interpret a lot, or how much?
Oh, no.
You give a lot of detail.
No. You have to, even the best vestment maker, and I use vestment makers in Maine and in Italy and in London. So all of these have been made either in Maine or in Italy or in London. That cope was made in London by Watts and Company. But they can produce really good products, but this is more elaborate than the normal stuff they produce, particularly for the Novus Ordo stuff that they produce in the Catholic Church, which is kind of like...
Your design has a lot of dimension.
Oh, totally, yeah. Oh, yeah. And every vestment I design, I have a full rendering of it to scale.
Really?
Everything is to scale so that the manufacturer does not screw it up, right? So everything that I have done, all of these and all the other things I've done, are minutely rendered in order for the manufacturer to follow the rendering. Yeah, nothing is left to chance. So I pick all the vestment, all the fabrics, all the trims. These little bands are called galloons, and I pick the design and everything. It's all basically spelled out, kind of like an architect building a house, right? Nothing's left to chance. Yeah. And there are times when I have to snap at the vestment maker because when they send me early renderings of what they're doing, I go, no, that's not correct. It's not big enough, or it's too big, or whatever.
They would have to know, for example, in that piece, right?
Yeah.
The center is sewn over, or is a separate piece of, you know what I'm saying? Is it sewn over the purple, or is the...
Yeah.
They have to know all
Yeah.
of it, and that's all these...
The basic fabric is what we call the face fabric, all right? And everything is applied over that. And then there's the lining inside, yeah. So all the fabrics I pick, the designs I pick, the dimensions I decide on, and all of that is rendered in minute to scale detail before it ever goes to the... Now, here's an interesting thing.
Artisans who do that work?
What?
Do you have any artisans who do that work for you?
Well, I have a vestment artist who does the rendering based upon my, yeah. Now, yeah.
Hi, if I could just have a question, please.
Yeah, sure.
And that is, how do you decide the balance when you design your vestments, et cetera? How do you define the balance, or how do you find the balance between simple and humility on the scale over, if I may suggest, to opulent and celebratory? I'm sorry, that which shows for intense celebration. Does that kind of make sense?
It does, yeah. Let me
So
repeat.
How do you come up with that? Is it by season, or even within the season, you can kind of understand what the probabilities are going, even within the season?
Well, the question was, tell me if I'm wrong. The question was, how do I do the balance between simple and elaborate, or what? That's it. My personal philosophy / theology is that in the worship of God Almighty, you can do simple. I'm sure He doesn't care, but I don't do simple vestments. I mean, if you want simple vestments that are ugly, go to a Roman Catholic church to a Novus Ordo Mass. And by the way, when they reopened Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, get online, if you will, and look up the vestments that were specifically designed for that reopening Mass. They are the ugliest pieces of crap that I've ever seen. And can I say crap in here, Father? It was embarrassingly bad. And that's kind of where the Roman Catholic Church, I mean, bless its heart, has gone, is basically, oh, we don't need these elaborate vestments, just do something really simple, right, on and on. And there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. I mean, worship of God is the worship of God, but you know, when you're at the altar and you're worshiping God Almighty, there should be a certain majesty involved in it, in my estimation, my personal estimation. And so, you know, I don't do the simple stuff. And I get asked by parishes to do just simple stuff, and I go, go to someone else, please. That's not my bailiwick. Now, this is a different style of chasuble. This is called a Spanish style. This style, kind of like a bell-shaped. As you can see, it differs from the Roman, and it differs from the Gothic, the semi-Gothic. I like this because it's different, and it's used mostly in Spain. That's where it originated. Very few parishes have any of these Spanish-style designs. This I designed. This is a Marian vestment. It's blue, which is the color of Mary, and it is covered with fleur-de-lis, which are her symbols. And then it has a symbol on here of Ave Maria. This is only a low Mass vestment. So Father has used it over here at this altar on Marian days for about a year or two, right? Roughly? Yeah.
Garry,
Yeah.
did you find the fabric with the fleur-de-lis?
Yes.
Was that
Yeah.
made for-
No, I bought it.
So your
Yeah.
design then specifically places the fleur-de-lis in the layout of it, right?
Yeah. There is a profusion of fabrics available around the world for vestments. You can find anything you want. I do not use polyester. Everything is silk, or in some cases wool. A lot of the modern vestments are polyester with like plastic designs on them, which are abominable to me. Now, this is called a cope. And this is used by, it can be, the cope is worn in non-Eucharistic rituals. It can be used in processions, at a wedding, for example, where there's no Eucharist. It can be worn not just by a priest, but by others as well, even non-ordained people who celebrate at the altar. But it is a magnificent vestment. This was actually made by Watson Company in London. And as you can see, it's a Good Shepherd cope. This was actually used by Bishop Taylor when he was here the Saturday before Easter to do confirmations. Probably more elaborate than anything he has worn before. Yeah.
The designs of like Jesus on that one, and I think there's Jesus on the others. Do you design that? And
Yeah, I do actually, yeah.
Is it like you get like an illustrator to do it, or how do you?
I do. I give them if you get on my website, you can see some of my rough designs and then what they translate it into. Because my artist who does the renderings is quite familiar with my style. And so I give him a very rough idea of what I want, kind of draw it out, just sketch it out, and then he basically puts it in final form that then goes to the embroiderer, right? Now, interestingly enough, this will surprise you. A lot of this embroidery was done in a foreign country, Which foreign country do you think that might be? Pakistan. Yeah. It just so happens, even though it's a Muslim country, that for some reason, Pakistan has these amazing embroiderers. And a lot of what you see when you see really elaborate vestments, a lot of that embroidery was done in Pakistan. I hope they don't put themselves at risk by doing Christian, but a lot of this was done in Pakistan. Now,
May I interrupt you, Graham?
yeah, sure.
My mum had a lot of saris, which were,
Oh, yeah.
embroidered.
Yeah, in India, right?
Pakistan.
Pakistan, yeah. Now, can anyone here tell me what the liturgical colors are? Okay, let's start. There's white, right? There's green. There's red. There's purple. That gets us to 4. What's the other 3? Well, gold and silver can be substituted for white. Gold and silver can only be used on a white Sunday or on a white day, okay? But they're totally transferable, right? So, for example, this could be used on a white Sunday. But what are the other 3? Black. Now we got to 5. Rose, for Rose Sundays in Advent and Lent, and blue. Now, blue is totally out of fashion in the Catholic Church. And in fact, it's not even legal in the Catholic Church. This is hard to believe. It's not even legal to use blue vestments, even though that's the color of the Virgin Mary, unless you're under a papal indult, which means that the Pope has told a particular country, you can use blue vestments. That's why in Spain there are a lot of blue vestments, because it's under the papal indult that they can use blue. You can use blue as an accent color, but you can't have totally blue vestments in the Catholic Church, other than in Spain and a couple of other countries where there was the papal indult. I know, go figure, right?
Why is that?
Ask the Pope. Yeah.
What kind of material is the coat?
It's silk. Yeah, it's silk. Yeah, and by the way, a lot of the embroidery that you see here that is gold is actually gold bullion thread. It's not just like gold rayon; it's bullion. So it's as Father knows, some of these are very heavy because it's metal. So this is just a small sample of the stuff that I've designed. And by the way, I designed the green altar frontal here as well. And, I guess the hangings were taken down. But what you saw in the pulpit today and what you saw in the lectern, the green that matches the altar frontal is also of my design. Right? Yes?
Can you give us a time frame from your
Inception.
not your conception, but once how the process on a calendar? Is this a 6-month process?
It's long.
6 weeks,
Trust me,
a
it's
year?
long.
Give us an idea.
All right, there are 2 factors that play into the timing. One is that all these vestment manufacturers are busy. So when you put in a new order, it goes clear to the back of the line. And until they get all the projects finished ahead of it, they don't launch on your project. So some of these have actually taken between 8 months and a year to get out the other end. The other problem is when the embroidery goes to Pakistan, they work on a slightly different time schedule there. It can be 2 or 3 months to do just a simple embroidery, and you have no real control over it. They keep pounding them, saying, we need that embroidery. They kind of don't care. I mean, it's...
And that's done there, and then you're shipping that someplace else for it to be
Yes,
incorporated
correct.
in Europe? Or
Yeah, the vestments are not made in Pakistan. Only the embroideries are done in Pakistan. And so the last time I had Pakistani embroidery, it took 5 months to get a simple, this is, you see this surround around the IHS? I was basically doing a design that had 2 of these in much thicker form, And that took 5 months to get those back from Pakistan. So it's a time-consuming and kind of patience testing process to get it done. But, you know, quality takes time. So,
in terms of that amount of time that it takes
yeah.
to get an order through the process, do you tend to submit groups of vestments at the same time or just one set?
I try not to, because that clots up the process even more. And so, like right now, I have 5 different vestment projects for this parish and others that are in my head. I hear voices too, so you have to take that into account. But I'm not going to submit those until these vestment makers get further down the road on the projects I have in front of them. Because what happens is there are personnel changes at these companies, and then by the time 5-6 months goes by, they've lost the fabric samples that I've sent them, and they don't remember what the fabrics are going to be. So I try to do it in sequence, okay? But it's a long, lengthy process. Yeah, and you can't really hurry it. So, and particularly if it's in Italy. I mean, it's because this whole set was made in Italy, and you know, first of all, they're like, what, 8 hours or 9 hours ahead of us? So there's a time problem. And then also, it's kind of Italy. I mean, it's, you know, so what can I say?
Let's go.
Yeah, what can I say?
It must be, they seem like very expensive pieces. Like if you were going to buy a couture dress, you know what I mean? It would be very expensive, because seems like high end of, you know.
They are high end, yeah.
Fabric, you know, all
I don't reveal prices, but they're not cheap. I mean, it's all handwork, basically.
They all look like museum pieces.
Well, they could be. I mean, if you go to vestment museums, which I've been to in Europe and even in Australia, this is the kind of stuff you see behind glass.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of stuff, unfortunately, you see in those churches at the altar, which is like polyester crap. So it's a timely process. It's a time-consuming process, but it's worth it, because this is what comes out the other end. Yeah.
What is the expected lifespan of these garments?
Depends on how Father treats them. No. Well, I can tell you that the ones that we had here before I started doing the vestments for St. Thomas, those had been around for, what sets were those?
There's a green fiddleback set that is still in good use, but you can tell that it's older than these.
Yeah. These have a, I don't know, 30, 40-year life, because they're not used every day. I mean, it's used, the high mass set is only used on Sundays and only on the days when the color is appropriate to the liturgical season. So they'll outlast me, for sure. All of these will outlast me, I hope.
How do you store these without moths attacking them?
Well, that's for Father to tell you. I don't know. I mean, once I present them to Father and they're taken back in the sacristy, my stewardship is over.
Hanging them is the worst thing
Yeah,
you can do, because gravity
correct.
pulls on the
Yeah.
handle. The best thing is to put them in drawers.
Lay them flat. Hmm.
But we need more money to buy more
Yeah.
vestment dresses.
We don't have enough capacity here to store all of these flat, which is the way they should be stored. And that is particularly true of the ones that have gold bullion embroidery, because they're heavy. And I mean, they're not going to stretch out in, a couple years, but over time, that heavy embroidery is going, just, gravity being what it is, that heavy embroidery is going to pull them down and distort them to some degree. So the best thing is to store them all flat, but we don't have enough storage capacity back there to do that. So if anybody here wants to donate a vestment drawer for us, yeah. Now as the dessert course today, I have a reveal, because I have a brand new set that I've designed that Father has never even seen, that I am donating today to St. Thomas. Off comes the sheet. This is a blue high mast set, which we don't have. Now, this was made of all places in Poland. This was made in Poland. It's the first set that I've had made in Poland. They do amazing work, but again, it takes this I ordered last February. So I mean, do the timeline. Now, again, blue is only used on Marian feast days, and there aren't too many of those during the year. So this will not be used extensively, but we don't have a blue high mast set. So we've been using white for Marian feasts, which is fine, but blue is the more appropriate and the more common color to use on a Marian feast day. So, and this is the Ave Maria symbol, and it's also in smaller form on the dalmatic and the tunicle. Now, based on what I told you about the dalmatic, do you notice that there's a slight difference between the dalmatic and the tunicle? Which is, there's an extra orphrey here to designate the dalmatic. And as you can tell, I'm a kind of a tassel guy. Tassels are not used much on vestments, but to me they add a certain amount of
Dignity.
I don't know, something, yeah. One of the things I found in all of these vestments that I've done with tassels is that they can't be free, they have to be tapped down to the face fabric. Otherwise, what happens with the dalmatic and the tunicle is that they get stuck under the armpits of the deacon and the subdeacon. So they have to be tacked down. But any questions? Yes.
I seem to remember the black set looked like it was velvet.
It's velvet, yeah.
It was velvet.
Yeah. It's very common to have black sets made out of velvet.
Black chasuble.
Oh, yeah, please do that. Yeah, he's going to grab the black chasuble, yeah. Black, of course, is only used for requiems and on All Souls Day and on on Good Friday. So black has limited use during the course of the year. And in the Catholic Church, black is really not used anymore. It used to be that for a requiem, you would have an entire black set. Yeah, this is the chasuble from the black set that I designed. And this is velvet. This is very common on black vestments to use velvet and not silk damask of any kind. And that's the front. This was made in Italy as well. This was actually made by the same vestment maker who made the green set.
Yes. And there's a dalmatic and tunicle that matches, and a black coat that goes with it. And we also have unbleached candles for requiems, and we also have 6 new candlesticks as well.
For the requiems.
The requiem.
Yeah.
So 6 candlesticks would go either side of the casket here.
Yeah. I must tell you that Emmy, sitting back there, actually sees me on my phone at night lying in bed doing the vestment design, which she thinks is bizarre too, but you know, it is what it is. Do my best thinking on the notes section of my iPhone. Any questions? I mean, yes?
If a pall is used for a funeral, is it color coordinated with the liturgical?
It's black, yes. In fact, I have donated a pall to St. Thomas. I'm not sure we've used it, but he'll find it for you and bring it out. Yeah. The pall has to be black, or in the Catholic Church now, the palls are sometimes purple. They don't use black in the Novus Ordo rite, so the vestments are purple. Yeah, this is the pall that I've donated. I don't think we've ever used this, have we, Father? No.
It's huge.
It is big. It is big. Yeah. Let's hold it up here so they can. Let's hold it up so they can see it.
Wait, does somebody wear that?
No, it's put over the casket.
Oh, over the casket.
Yeah. It's put over the casket right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've never used it?
Well, no, because so few, unfortunately, so few funerals these days take place in church. People go straight and are cremated.
Or they're cremated.
People should be coming to church for a requiem.
So there's no casket to put this over. Yeah. But that's it. You're going to use this for mine, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you make patterns of these vestments and then send them abroad? Or,
Yes.
like my mother used to sew things for my sisters?
Well, yeah, I mentioned that I have an artist who does renderings for me to scale of all of these designs, and then they're sent off to the vestment maker, and they follow it to the nth degree. So everything is to scale. Yeah, I have a really good artist who actually is connected to Almy in Maine, which is one of my main vestment makers. He's actually a freelancer, but he's really good. He knows my style, and he knows how to execute my rough designs into finished renderings. So everything is exquisitely rendered down to the last half inch.
Is it often one size fits all?
No, never. No. I mean, even these basic types like the Roman style can be different sizes to some degree. Yeah. Some of them are longer than others, some of them are wider than others, but there's really no standard pattern or format. Yeah.
As the general announcement happened one, so if you're on the street, if you can move your car to one of the lots, unless you have.
Oh.
Park in front. Front is okay, it's the sides, in Gardner Street, you're on Gardner Street, you can move to one of the lots.
Okay, but front's okay right outside?
Yes.
Thank you.
Not a question, Garry, but for the group here, a good way to learn more about vestments and develop an appreciation of how spoiled we are here. There's a number of Facebook groups about vestments. One is called Clerical Dress. You see a lot of multi-denominational stuff, which is really interesting. And there's one that's kind of funny called Society Against Tacky Vestments.
I like that one.
But I have to caution you because there's been a couple times that our St. Thomas vestments have shown up because there are people out there who automatically hate fiddlebacks. They're just
Yeah.
ideologically
Correct.
opposed to fiddlebacks.
Right.
So I'm like one of the resident fiddleback apologists there, but I've learned a good amount about different liturgical uses for vestments, different styles. Also about weird scene magnificent groups that have their own elaborate.
Yeah.
It's really interesting place to see the range that's out there.
Yeah, in the Catholic Church, by the way, the Roman fiddleback vestment style is out of fashion. Although, interestingly enough, the changes in the Mass after Vatican II did not in any way prohibit or inhibit the use of the fiddleback chasuble. It's just been kind of a communal process in the Catholic Church that, oh my God, you can't use the fiddleback in the Novus Ordo Mass. That's the traditional Latin Mass, which is the way it was. But there is no prohibition on using the Roman style vestment in the Novus Ordo Mass, but it's very rarely used.
And manacles are seen as being reactionary.
Yeah, correct. Right. Yeah. Yes.
One of the things that I noticed in a number of the vestments is that there's actually figures with faces.
Mm-hmm.
Could you talk a little bit about how you and your artist evolved what that face will look like? Do you know what I mean? I mean, the faces are very specific.
Well, I'm not good with faces. So it's my artist who has to render. Even as an artist, as a kid, I couldn't do people. I couldn't do faces. I just can't. I can't do it. I was into still lifes, right? Vases and stuff like that. But my artist is great at rendering this stuff. I don't know if he uses AI or not. I have no idea. But he's rendered all of these faces that you see here. Yeah. I can't. Yeah, they are. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Yes?
Can you repeat your website name?
It's holy-threads.com. Yep. And you'll see a lot of the vestments that are used here on that site. And all the ones that I designed all the way back to 1985. Yeah.
They're not as ornate as the incredible vestments, but I'd like to know about the hats, the significance of the various hats that we.
Well, Father, you're probably best.
Do you mean the berettas?
The berettas.
Yeah.
When do you wear what?
Right. Berettas are mostly outdoor wear, but we wear them in procession here. And we wear them on the way in and on the way out. And each beretta, there's one for the celebrant, the deacon, and the subdeacon. And they have 3 fins. And the blank is always on the left, with a bobble on the top, unless you're a cardinal, in which case you have just a tiny little button. Yes. But they're standard, they don't change. The colours change, and the red is significant because it indicates a canon or a monsignor.
Although, Father, the Spanish beretta is different from the. Yes.
I've got a Spanish beretta.
Just like the Spanish style vestment, it's different from the typical. It's kind of a 4-peak thing. It has four peaks on it. So it looks much different from the berettas that you see here.
Grab my Spanish.
Oh, yeah, sure.
On
Yeah.
the website, you said there were drawings of.
In some cases, yeah, if you go to the individual vestments and you go up to the top, you'll see a couple of my scrawlings there. Not all of them, but some of them, which is like my original idea for the vestment. There were a lot of iterations that went between that and the actual vestments being finished, but you'll see some of my, yeah, that's it. That's a Spanish beretta. You can see it has 4 points on it. So just like the Spanish style chasuble, they use a kind of different style in Spain. Yeah.
It's too small for me to wear, so I don't wear it.
Hey, Father, you want to just try on the new chasuble?
I would love to.
Oops. We're going to do a little fashion show here for you. There you go. Pretty lustrous, huh?
Every time you say the word casacao, God drowns a puppy.
By the way, one other thing I wanted to point out was all of these sets involve also a bursen veil. This is a chalice veil, which is put over the chalice on the altar. And then this is called a burse, in which you put the
Corporal.
Yeah, the corporal for the hosts, and it goes on top of that. But everything, all of these sets you see up here have the burse and veil as well that is matching to the fabric and design of the. So when's our next Marian feast?
It would be,
There aren't many of them.
there's the Assumption on August the 15th.
Right.
And we keep the Sunday that's
Right.
closest to that. I can't, what other Marian feasts are there, Michael?
Immaculate Conception. To separate it.
Is that December the 8th?
Oh yeah, you're right. Immaculate Conception, yeah. And isn't there also the birth of Mary, or?
There's the birth of Mary, which falls on a weekday
Mhm.
this year.
Mm.
We could keep it on a Sunday so that more people would get to see the Mary on blue. They're amazing, Gary. Thank you
Well, you're welcome.
so much.
Happy to do it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As I tell my wife, I can't sing, I can't dance. God had to give me some talent, so. She can sing and dance, by the way. Emmy? Don't want to embarrass her. Well, that's kind of a little overview of Vestments. By the way, I've designed the frontal on the Lady Chapel altar as well. We never had a frontal for that altar during the entire time that this church has been in existence. So, again, as you can see, it involves blue and the fleur-de-lis, as well as the Ave Maria symbol. So,
Excuse me, Gary?
Yeah.
If I could mention that Gary did a wonderful, wonderful addition to All Saints Episcopal in Hillcrest, San Diego. It is love.
it's a green frontal that I did for
It is love.
our sister parish. Yes, yes. Can I tell the story about that? Okay, so Father Carlos down there asked me to design a green frontal for All Saints, and I did it, and I sent him the rendering, and he took it to his altar guild, and the altar guild, he came back to me kind of sheepishly and said, the altar guild thinks it's too beautiful for our parish because we have a very simple altar, and unlike our Reredos here, it's just kind of plain blue. It doesn't have any decoration on it. And so they were, I guess the ladies in the altar guild thought it was too beautiful.
Over the top.
Yeah. So I said, look, I'm going to do it anyway, all right? And I'll just donate it to the parish. And so Emmy and I went down there on the 28th of September. They vested they dressed the altar with it, and they blessed it and used it for the first time. And all the little ladies that thought it was too gorgeous said, "Oh my gosh, what an addition to the church!" Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. All the glory to God, not to me.
The silver St. Thomas High Mass set, is that?
Yeah, can you bring out the, yeah.
Is that inspired by this place?
St.
Thomas?
Not really. When he brings it out, I'll explain the background on that one. Silver is used very commonly in the Eastern Orthodox churches, particularly by bishops. There are entire vestment sets that are nothing but silver. In the Western church, it's very, very uncommon. And so I decided just to do a silver set of my own volition because in the Western church, they're just not seen. And so this set I had designed specifically for St. Thomas, and this little thing down here is called a stemma at the bottom of the middle orphrey. And this particular stemma has the symbol of St. Thomas the Apostle on it, which is a square and a spear and two arrows. So it's very specific. And
on the inside.
Yeah, this was a surprise to Father that, let's see, where's the, yeah. This says, Ad Gloriam Dei and in thanksgiving for the life and ministry of Canon Ian Elliott Davis, Christmas 2021. So this was a gift to him that we brought over, I believe, the day before Christmas Eve, right?
It was Christmas Eve.
In 2021, yeah. And he didn't know it was coming. So we now have the full silver high mass set, which I'm sure you've seen numerous times. And in the Western Church, there just are no silver. In fact, all the vestment museums that I've been to all over Europe and even in Australia, I have never seen a set of all silver vestments in any of these Catholic churches that I've gone into their vestment museums. It's very rare, as you know. Mm-hmm. But we now have a set, so it's extremely rare. So is everyone exhausted from this little travel log through Vestments? Yes. Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if I go on your website and order, will I get something, duplicates of these, or are they?
No, I don't do duplicates. Yeah, they're all unique. Yeah. I have a lot of requests for that. Some church in North Dakota, said, can you produce this vestment set for me? And I tell them, no, if you want something, it's got to be original. I'm not going to replicate anything. So my vestments are kind of strewn from Washington State to Washington, D.C. and South Carolina all the way to Southern California. They're all over the country. But this is the only parish where there's really kind of critical mass, if you'll pardon the expression.
You never have to run the risk of showing up in the same dress.
No. It's everything I do is totally unique. I don't replicate anything, even when I get requests for it. Yeah, I've had a lot of requests to replicate that Good Shepherd cope, but most of the parishes that make inquiries, they couldn't begin to afford it. So I have to tell them, I'm sorry, but your vestry is not going to approve this expenditure, I'm sure. So everything I do is unique.
And what's your website again?
Holy-threads.
Holy-threads.com.
Mm-hmm.
Sure to put the dash in.
The dash, yes.
Yes,
the dash.
I've got it.
There you go. Wow. All right, everyone. Thank you for staying and listening. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I can't play the organ, but at least I can design this.
How much insurance?